Check out this shirt I got from Tokyo. Pretty sick. Hey guys, Josh here. So I'm finally back from Taiwan and Japan, and I posted a poll a couple of days ago and the results are in. You guys seem to be interested in sort of the finances behind the channel. So in this video, I'll sort of pull back the curtains and talk about sort of how I got here, why I quit my full-time job that I worked at for 4 years, how much I was making back then, how much I'm making now, do I regret it, and yeah, just answering all of those questions. So yeah, I worked a full-time job in a commercial marketing filmmaking type role at a company in San Francisco from 2018 to 2022. And my salary at the time of starting was $65,000. And my salary at the time that I left the company was $135,000. So I got a job offer of $65,000 from this one company. Now, the one thing I sort of regret is taking that offer and just not negotiating a little bit more. I was a little bit hungry to just get out there and work, but at the same time, I knew that my worth was definitely higher than that, especially being in San Francisco. If you are just out of college, maybe you're looking for your first job, that's definitely a skill that I think you should look into. Definitely watch some videos on how to negotiate your salary, how to research your market value, and just know your worth. Now at this company, I was given a raise of $5,000 every 6 months, which was pretty nice. So within a year and a half, I was up to $80,000. Now during this time, the company was pretty small and I was reporting directly to the CMO, so I had no manager. But then eventually we finally hired somebody who would become my manager, and that person came in and looked at our salaries and said, hey, we're gonna bring you up to market standards. So I went from $80,000 to all of a sudden $100,000 just like that. I was definitely not expecting to get to 100K that fast. It was a huge milestone for me and just really proved to myself and my parents that I could make it as a filmmaker in the Bay Area. After staying at 100K for a couple of months, I was then bumped to 120K when I was promoted to a senior level role. And then after that, I was bumped to 135K when I got a competing offer from another company who wanted to hire me. And so I was able to leverage that. I'd say the two takeaways I had from this whole salary experience was number one, know your value before accepting a job offer, especially if it's your first job offer. And then second, getting promoted and also having competing offers from other companies are huge ways to just boost your salary level to the next level. Now, about 2 years into working this job in person in San Francisco, that's when COVID hit and me and my 4 other roommates decided that we would all move home to save some money on rent. And so yeah, I moved an hour south back home and we were all working remotely. And at that time, the pace of work was really, really slow. The workload had dramatically decreased just because working in film production, you sort of have to be there in person for those shoots, right? Otherwise, you're sort of just editing and there's only so much editing that you can do in a work week. And so with a bunch of free time on my hands, I started to think about what I could do with all of my spare time and my spare creative energy. And that's when YouTube popped up in my head. Growing up, I had my favorite creators. I had Nigahiga, Kev Jumba, and of course, MKBHD. And I knew that I was fascinated with tech. And so naturally just merging all 3 of those interests together, filmmaking, YouTube, and tech, I started uploading some videos. And this is something I think everybody can do, is sort of just merging all of your interests into something that you can do on your free time. I started just writing scripts for YouTube during work hours, and then I would go after work to my office an hour north in San Francisco. I would make that drive up, film a bunch of stuff at my office, and then come home and edit throughout the week. And I sort of repeated that process, for a couple of months until I saw that, hey, there are some videos that are really blowing up. And so the first video that sort of blew up was the Spotify car thing. And then the second video that sort of blew up was the AirPods comparison video. Now, let's get into some of the analytics behind these videos. So the Spotify car thing video, after 2 million views, YouTube has paid me $5,168.59. and 37,000 of you guys subscribed because of that video. And then here is the other video, the AirPods comparison video for 4.9 million views that generated $23,670.57. And 44,000 of you guys subscribed because of that video. So yeah, at that point, I was definitely a little bit surprised at how early of a success that my channel had. And so that sort of planted the seed in my mind of, hey, maybe I could quit my job and just pursue YouTube full time. So yeah, with all of the early success, I basically asked myself a couple of questions. I asked myself, what is the narrative that I want to tell? And can I actually quit, right? And what I mean by the first question of narrative is like, when I look back on my life when I'm 50, 60 years old, what do I want to see in my own life? And for me, that was sort of just, I want to be somebody who takes risks. And I want to be somebody who can say that he has tried. Quitting my job was definitely something that signified to myself like, hey, I'm gonna give this my all. I'm gonna really try at this. And even if I don't succeed, I can at least say that I tried. And so that was sort of the first thing that I wrestled with in my mind. And then the second thing was sort of just like the hard facts, like, can I actually quit? And so I looked at my savings and I looked at potentially getting an apartment, which is the one that I'm in now. And I basically came to the conclusion that I have probably saved enough money to not have a job for a couple of years at least. And so, yeah, I said, I'm gonna come back in 1 year and see if this is working or not. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at today. I have quit my job about a year ago, and I actually have the breakdown of how much I've made throughout the year. So let's get into that. Okay, so when we talk about income as a YouTuber, there's always a couple of income sources. For my channel, there are 3 sources, and then there's one other source that I'll talk about later. The first source is gonna be AdSense revenue, and the AdSense revenue for 2022 was $28,457.59. Now, the second income source is gonna be affiliate income. So anytime somebody clicks on one of my links to purchase a product, and the total for affiliate income actually came out to $6,948.95. And then the third source of income for my YouTube channel is, of course, sponsorships. And that amount came out to $38,267.08. Now, sponsorships, I would say, are probably the toughest and most confusing thing for me. I just really wasn't prepared for the amount of emails I would have to go through and just the amount of negotiation and back and forth with companies. When we talk about sponsorships, there's always this moral dilemma of, do I actually really like the product or am I just doing it for the money? But yeah, that basically brings our income for our YouTube business to $73,673.62. But wait, there's actually one more source of income. And so my fourth source of income is actually my freelance filmmaking business. So that business has generated $76,951.16 in 2022, which puts our grand total for our income at $150,624.78. Now, you guys probably didn't know this, but I do run a freelance filmmaking business on the side where I take in clients and I direct videos and shoot videos for them. And yeah, it's a good way to supplement the income and also a nice way to engage a different part of my brain. I personally think that it's nice to have 2 businesses so I can sort of switch gears and focus more on the art of filmmaking as opposed to like content, like the best title, best thumbnail, and the best content ideas. That is actually something that I noticed in a lot of YouTubers, right? They have another business on the side. Like, I follow 2 YouTubers, Edward Lee and Ollier, and Edward Lee also has a filmmaking business, and Ollier has a shop on the side that he manages. And so, I don't know, I think it's pretty healthy to have 2 separate interests that sort of work your brain in different ways. But yeah, for our first year, we reached $150,000, which I think is not bad at all. We actually surpassed my full-time income of $135,000, which I'm really proud of. That basically is my story of how I quit my job. Now, I am probably making it sound like an easier decision than it was, but trust me, it was a really hard decision for me to make. I think I wrestled with it for a couple of months until I finally decided to do it. But overall, I think I did make the right decision at the end of the day. I'm glad that I quit my job. I do want to end the video with this, is the fact that it's pretty easy to compare ourselves with other people. And also, it's pretty easy for us to take life a little bit too seriously. At the end of the day, work is just work, and there are so many other things that are more important than work, like family, friends, and just experiencing the world around you. And so I would encourage you not to take work too seriously and not to put too much pressure on yourself and compare yourself to others. Definitely just take life one step at a time, and I think you'll enjoy life a little bit more. All right, that about does it for this video. If you guys have any questions regarding anything I said today or just my journey, leave a comment down below. I'll try to do my best to answer it from my own experience. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.